Hey, what's up, everyone? Ralph here. So, ever since Trump won the election, I think a lot of people around the world are starting to let it be known what direction they want the world to go. Obviously, you see Milei over in Argentina. The things that he's doing over there. You got Canada that are looking for new leadership. You also got Europe, and we all see the chaos that's going on over there. And I think a lot of people around the world are starting to open up their eyes to what how destructive the left is, right? The left wing policies, right? You can just see here in the United States when you look at states and cities that are run by Democrats. They it's nothing but chaos, right? It's high crime, it's expensive. People are struggling to afford to just live on a daily basis, and I think a lot of countries around the world are starting to see that just looking at the United States, like they see the fact that Trump was elected, that these left wing policies just don't work, and it's good to see these things because we all see it, and now we're waiting for obviously Canada to figure out who they're going to pick as leadership, and from what it looks like they're probably going to go a little bit more conservative. And over obviously in Europe, they got chaos going over there, and you see it with these countries, especially with these policies. You see this mass migration. That you have a lot of these illegal immigrants coming into these countries and just making things very hard for citizens in their country to just live their daily lives, right? And I think people are starting to realize whatever policies that these people on the left implement, it just doesn't work. And which leads me to this article here on the New York Post where it says the left is now more unpopular worldwide than any time since the Cold War. Okay. And I think for a lot of people, like seeing, and the thing is, the world looks towards the United States, right? Whatever is going on in the United States, a lot of these countries tend to follow. All right, so they see that Trump's being elected, and they see where the temperature is when it comes to the United States, and what they're talking about, what people are talking about on social media, what the politicians are talking about. The other countries look at that and say, yeah, you know what? If it's not working in the United States, then it's probably not going to work here in their country. And I think people are starting to realize that. So I'm gonna read this article real quick and then see what they're saying, because the fact that I think people are starting to say, hey, the left is very unpopular, like their policy is unpopular. This is a good thing, okay? And I'll be interested to see what this article says. So it says lefty political parties across the world are now more unpopular than any time since the Cold War. A staggering analysis of recent elections shows the left suffered a record low average of just 45% of votes in dozens of ballots held globally last year, according to the analysis of 70 Democratic elections. In the United States and Western Europe, progressives were even more unpopular, with the left-leaning parties securing only 42% of respective votes. All right, it says, all right, the right, meanwhile, won 57% of average votes, representing the widest gap since 1990, the analysis found. The global demise of the political left comes off the back of President-elect Donald Trump's landslide election win. So now Trump, who will be inaugurated Monday, secured the popular vote of 77 million votes compared to 75 million his Democratic rival, Kamala Harris. The left's declining popularity is only expected to continue, experts say. Says what? In the wake of the Harris defeat, leftist parties in Canada, Australia, and Germany are already predicted to suffer similar losses in upcoming ballots. The trend is up. There is no real reason to expect that this will stop anytime soon. And Canada, polls are already showing that its firebrand conservative leader, Pierre Poilievre, is the favorite to replace Prime Minister Justin Trudeau after the lefty leader's abrupt resigning earlier this month. Meanwhile, Australia's Conservative Party has also inched ahead of its ruling progressive government prior to the planned election later this year. So you see a lot of these countries already starting to make that move forward, where they're just leaning towards the right, because it's clearly, it gets to a point where when obviously when you look at the leftist policies and when it comes to immigration, racism, whatever it is, people are like, okay, like we believe in these things, social justice, yes, we want people to be equal, we want all these things, that's nice, but you guys are going way too far, right? It's getting to a point where it's like it borderlines just not common sense. So it gets to a point where people say, this isn't working. We see the United States where the people went when they elected Donald Trump, and they say, we might need to go in that same direction. Especially when and this is the thing, this is the great thing, because if you let a lot of these, people on the left, if you let these policies live long enough, people will eventually see the results of it. Okay, like for here in the United States, we had a direct comparison when we saw Trump in office for 4 years, and then we saw Biden in office for 4 years, and you have a direct comparison of like whose policies work, and you could just ask yourself, which, like, was your life better under Trump or was it better under Biden? Overwhelmingly, people said, yeah, it was better under Trump, because people are just getting to a point where it's unbearable, and I think countries around the world are feeling that same effect. Things are more expensive, right? There's more crime, there's mass immigration. It's very unsafe. And people are just saying, you know what? We got to move on. We got to go in a different direction. And direction is clearly not from the left, right? So it says, experts have pinned the right's rising popularity in part on hardline immigration policies in the U.S. and parts of Europe. Jeremy Cliff of the European Council of Foreign Relations think tank said 3 trends were also tied to the boost: the globalization-driven decline of organized labor, rising identity politics, harnessed more successfully by the right than the left, and general tendency among leftist forces to fragment rather than unite. He said, and that's one thing that when it comes to the left, man, they're really good at causing division. Notice if you just like listen to them speak, right? They always find a way to divide, right? Black against white, rich against poor, vaccinated versus unvaccinated, right versus left, conservative versus, liberals. They always find ways to divide. Man versus woman. They always find ways to divide, because it's easy when a group is divided, it's easier to control the people that you want to control, right? It's not, it's hard to control people that are united. So it's just make sure that, the man against the woman, the black versus white, rich versus poor, the capitalist versus socialist. They always find ways to try to create division so they can then manipulate the people that they want to manipulate against the people that they're against. So they always find ways to divide. And it gets to a point where people are saying, you know what? This just isn't working. And I think it's important that I think this world needs to find a way to get, to implement more conservative values, because you just see the way the direction this world is going, and these liberal ideologies, the mindset is just, it doesn't work. It hurts everyone, right? It hurts our society, right? It hurts the moral fabric of our country. And you see when you have this leftist ideology, like just the pain and the destruction that it causes for that particular country or society. And as someone who used to think that way back in the days, and now and to where I am now, like I see how important it was to I can compare both values, right? Like being on the left is just like you believe in certain things, and you see firsthand the way you used to think, and the way things like hurt your people in your community or people overall. It's just like, yeah, this doesn't work. And then you go to the other side and you say, okay, you listen to what the other side believes in, and you listen to what they have to say, and they make their argument. You say, you know what? As someone that was on both sides, you can use critical thinking and say, yeah, you know what? This one sounds much better. And for a lot of people on the left, they haven't reached that point, right? They've only listened to the left. They don't listen to anyone on the right, so they don't really have that other point of view. So it's just like, I don't want to listen to you. Because I remember someone that was on the left. I never wanted to listen to any conservative or Republican. I never wanted to. I was like, I'm not going to listen to them. But now being on that other side and making that decision, it's just like you get to hear both sides and you hear both arguments, and you get to critically think and make a decision that's best for you. And based on, as you get older, you see, you know what? Yeah, clearly what the left has to offer, it just doesn't work. And I think a lot of people are starting to open their eyes to it. I think social media has been a huge impact on that. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. Right. And hopefully this continues. Hopefully this is not just something that's just 4 years and then, then people revert back to it. Hopefully this is a trend that is continuing for a while, because we kind of need it. I think this world needs it. And it's good to see that that's the direction that we're going, because I think we'll be in a better place if that's the trend that continues. So those are my thoughts. Interested to hear your thoughts. Make sure to leave a comment down below, hit the like button, share it. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. All right, so you guys take care and have a good one. Later.